deep. So I'll sit by these waters till my soul understands that some love turns to dust in the palm of your hand. This river of my tears, it flows through the night, washing the pain with the pale morning light. It carries the sorrow, it carries the years. Oh, this reverse.
It's PGZ out of Jersey, nigga. Tell them add the gratuity, cause I'm serving niggas. They hear the pain in my voice, they know it's murder in it. That Audi come with an engine, I was just swerving it. I'm outside on the south side. All that capping, you rapping to get your mouth wide. They was up 10 on me, nigga, but now they down 5.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Sports Talk. And tonight we will have a conversation, Dwayne and myself, in reference to some of the schedule leaks, our thoughts, some of the NFL schedule. And I always preface this to say it's a funny thing because the NFL, for lack of better words, me and Dwayne always say the NFL is king. They can do no wrong. I mean, they could promote their draft and their draft get high ratings. They could promote Thursday is the official release of all the games. And it will do great in ratings. And the last few years, they've been leaking these games. They leaked a lot of the primetime games. And when you think about it, even during the draft, they actually leaked the international games early. The NFL just knows how to, push the needle, make them stay relevant, even when it's not nothing going on. The NFL will have something going on. So we just going to talk about it. And, anybody that joined us, appreciate you guys for joining us. Like, share, subscribe. Best way to support what we're trying to do here is to like, share, subscribe. What's up, Wayne?
Not much, rest in peace to Craig Morton, former NFL quarterback, started his career with the Cowboys, was with the Cowboys from 1965 to 1973. Then he moved on to the Giants. Then he moved on to Denver. Was always a good quarterback, but, Cowboys had somebody named Roger Staubach that they had to wait to get back from his naval commitment. And him and, Craig Morton shared the quarterback position for a few years until it was the best thing for Craig to move on. And then it was ironic that he went against the Cowboys in the Super Bowl when he was the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos and went up against the gentleman that he used to share reps with when he was in Dallas. So, rest in peace to Craig Morton.
Yeah, rest easy, Craig Morton. Definitely, bro. So, man, we got the first Sunday night game, right up, Wednesday night game, excuse me. The first Wednesday night game. Is the first Wednesday night game?
No, Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night game. I'm all messed up.
First game of the year is going to be the Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, and like always.
Seahawks on Thursday.
Not sure. And I apologize for that. I'm all jacked up. I'm all jacked up when it comes to that because it's always funny because it is usually the Super Bowl champ, always that first Thursday game. But then they'll do that Sunday game and just, promote that game. So the first Sunday game from the door, we got around 12:30, and it's the Cowboys Giants. And it's funny because we are Cowboy fans and a lot of Giant fans we're friends with, and they literally always say, I'm getting tired of playing Dallas the first couple of weeks of the year. Like, it really is. What people don't know is that, yeah, it may seem just a game for fans, but we have to understand that the NFL, and particularly the Dallas Cowboys, is the number one rated show on TV. This is a marketing blitz. Like, when you think about the drought that the Cowboys been in for the last 3 decades and the drought that the Giants have found themselves in the last almost 10 years, you will understand how a game like this, with two teams that had losing records last year, would still be a premier game on the first Sunday.
But it totally makes sense. I think the masses, I think a lot of people are missing a very big point with the Giants playing the Cowboys on the weekend of 9/11, with it being the 25th anniversary of 9/11. You would pretty much bet that they would have a game in New York, be prime time that week, be it the Giants or the Jets. But the Giants have a more favorable historical franchise in New York over the Jets. 4 Super Bowls to 1. Jets haven't had one since 1969. And if you're going to do that and you're going to have celebrations, they're going to be celebrating 250 years of America. You're going to hear a lot about that during the NFL season. There's going to be a lot of games themed around that. And even though this game is September 13th as opposed to September 11th, you will have a lot of pomp and circumstances around what's going on with 9/11. Probably be a lot of first responders there, a lot of familiar faces from 9/11. And it's kind of hard when you think about it being 25 years and being where we were born and how prevalent that was, and how there's been rare times in our lives that New York City and the tri-state area has been shut down. We can think about that in our lifetime. You got 9/11, Superstorm Sandy. We had that one time where we had that big power outage in New York that shut it down. And then, of course, in more recent time, COVID. So I just think the powers that be, I know it's a long-winded answer, but I think the powers that be in the NFL are looking at this as an opportunity to have a huge 9/11 celebration. And who better for the Giants to play on such an occasion than quote-unquote America's team? That's not me being biased as a Cowboy fan. I mean, I got a Cowboy hat on. It's not me being biased towards them. That's just they move the needle. It's New York. It's 9/11. So it only makes sense to me.
And that sometimes is a sentiment with some of the Cowboy fans that that I kind of get is they're always excited with the schedule release and this, that, and third, and it's a renewed enthusiasm with all of the stuff that the Cowboys have went through. Really, in the last 3 months, like they didn't have a lot of teams. Their off season becomes their off season, but literally for Cowboy fans, their off season, even with me being Mr. Pessimistic this year, the Cowboy fans, for lack of better words, hit the off season on the ground running. Like they had players that they wanted, people that they wanted. So it brings a lot of enthusiasm for the fan base. And like I said, once the whole schedule is released on Thursday, and then when you think about mini camps, OTAs, we're going to be going right into it. We're basically going to be in the middle of May this weekend, and then Memorial Day will be right around the corner. And the next thing you know, June, 2 weeks OTAs, and then July is training camp. So very, very interesting, fun times for NFL fans. But yeah, that first game, and then you said that I know you told me earlier that the Thanksgiving game is revealed already too, right?
Yeah, it's to me, it's getting bad. I don't like all the leaks. I mean, when you're doing such a big thing and you're doing a national show, and glad to see that it's only one network that's going to be doing it, and it's only going to be on the NFL Network. Glad to see that, but it's like almost like your birthday's coming, and people are giving you hints on what your presents are going to be for your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
What's left by the time your birthday gets here? So what's going to be left by Thursday? We're going to keep getting these big announcements, and it's more than just the Dallas Cowboys. You get the announcement that what is a big game year in, year out, Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, and that game's being played in Australia. We already know that the Cowboys are playing the Ravens week 3. So you know the week 1, week 3, and you know the Thanksgiving Day schedule for the Cowboys already. You know eventually by tomorrow or the next day, somebody's going to leak when the first time they play the Commanders. Because you already know when they're playing, not the first time with the Giants. Definitely not the first time with the Eagles, but you know 2 games for 2 of their divisional rivals. You know the third game's going to be leaked, and that's probably going to be like, I don't think it'll be Christmas because I believe they played each other on Christmas last year, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that. I could have did more research. I didn't do enough pre-show research to remember when they played the Commanders. But it's interesting. It's a lot of interesting takes. I was listening to Chris Russo, Mad Dog Russo, someone we grew up on, and he was on his show, and I kind of disagreed with what he was saying about the NFL not taking care of their long-standing business partners being CBS and Fox, because now you got games that are going to be on
Turning up with no money cause
NBC.
you the
You
downside.
got games that's going to be
I'm the
on
difference and they talking about it.
Netflix. You got games that's going to be on Amazon Prime. So he's like, that's four networks that are taken away from the inventory, so to speak, of the NFL schedule. But I disagree with that, because when you look at it and you look at these teams that we are anticipating to be good in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots coming off their Super Bowl run, Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. How are the Ravens going to be now with Jesse Minter being the coach? How is Buffalo going to be now that Joe Brady is the coach and Josh Allen, sorry. How is Cincinnati? Are we going to see the return of Joe Burrow? So Patrick Mahomes, how's he coming back from his injury? There's a lot of stories, right? There's a lot of stories in the AFC. And then you go to NFC, and it's always, Eagles, Cowboys. What is Todd Bowles going to do with a team that I think Todd Bowles doesn't get enough credit for the stability after replacing Bruce Arians and just keeping that franchise stable. And I think for me, they're going to be a really big players this year. I really believe in that. I know some people don't believe in Baker Mayfield, but I believe there's enough there for CBS. I think there's enough there for Fox. I think there's big enough slices in out of the pie for these organizations. Now, these media outlets. Now, one thing that does concern me a little bit is how many different nights of the NFL gonna have games.
Okay.
It's like you got a Wednesday night game this year. So they're doing a Thanksgiving Eve game plus 3 games on Thanksgiving. Like, yeah, you are watering down Sundays a little bit on a week like that. And you look at the schedule in week 15, and again, stuff is getting leaked left and right, but weeks 15, 16, 17, and 18, there's going to be Saturday games. Now, we're used to having Saturday games at the end of the year, but I think the NFL, hey, listen, I understand they don't care about the other big 3. I get it. But when you're doing weeks 15, 16, 17, and 18 on Saturdays, some of those weeks, there's still going to be college football. Yeah. You're going to still have Navy versus Army, Navy. Like, are you going to go against that? That's historic for CBS to have the Army Navy game on the Saturday. Like, so now you're playing certain games, and I apologize. I could look really quick. I'm not sure what day Christmas falls on this year, but if you got teams playing on Christmas Day, then you got to adjust when they play the week before.
Yeah, so, one of the things, and you touched on it, right? it's really a lot of storylines this year. I know last year we got to the point where it was like, oh, and then me and you would even, when we would do our thing with the Cowboys, me and you would even be on the phone and be like, yo, do you see the early games on Sunday? Oh, it's not good. And you know, they start doing the cross networking thing. Like it's no longer the NFC belonging to Fox or the AFC belonging to CBS. And I think that they're really with doing this with the schedule, they're trying to make it more competitive from a marketing these games point of view. I think last year we got to a point towards the end of the season where the parity really set in. I mean, when you think about even the Super Bowl champs, like most people don't realize they didn't have a high draft pick. They drafted 20th last year. I mean, they hit their stride. They were the only team that basically shut down the Rams and the 49ers. They were giving the Rams and the 49ers hell in their division games, and they hit a stride going into playoffs. So I think when you look at the parity, and definitely in that NFC, and you know, the league is just parity anyway. You got so many storylines. Like you said, when you think about Baltimore, they got a new coach. They got a brand new well, not a new system because we know who the coach is. Minter's there, so he's from that line. But they're gonna have a new coach that's gonna be coaching Lamar. How he's gonna coach Lamar? You got Patrick Mahomes that may he come back early from his ACL. You know, Deshaun Watson. Words out of Cleveland is that he's looking good. I mean, you got a lot of stories, and you know the one guy who continues to pull the strings of the NFL, the old guy Aaron Rodgers. It's a storied franchise. It's still a story, even though most of us are tired of hearing it and tired of it going on. Is he going to come back? Some people were saying that's why they pushed the schedule back because they wanted to figure out if he was going to do it. But the Steelers is going to get primetime games regardless because they're the Steelers. So I think, like you said, it's a lot of different stories. You mentioned Tampa Bay, and when you said it, I smiled because I love what they did in the draft. And if you think about what they did in the draft and had Todd Bowles, how he creates pressure, I'm intrigued to see him coach these three guys, their first three picks in this draft. Like Trotter, Bain, Scott. Like he could be Todd Bowles, bring pressure from all types of angles. So I'm intrigued with it. What as Cowboy fans, yes, we are diehard Cowboy fans. I'm intrigued at what the Eagles really going to do with AJ Brown. Are they going to release him, or are they going to trade him June 1st?
I think it's a situation where they have no choice because they've added so many wide receivers to this team. So it's just a books thing. Like they had to wait to June 1st to do it. So I would anticipate that he's not going to be there because they didn't pick. Like I said, they've signed free agents and then they traded up in the draft to get a receiver.
And you mentioned today while we was on the phone a signing, a late free agent signing. To me, it speaks volumes because this is a player that this coach will love on his team. This quarterback will love, like the Chargers getting a Joku. I think that's something that people are going to be like, oh, wow.
Yeah, so I believe there's enough inventory. So you figure Christmas is on a Friday this year. So you figure whoever's playing on Christmas as part of those late season Saturday games, they're probably going to put those 6 teams are probably going to play that Saturday. Because I don't think they're going to make them play Sunday and turn around and come Friday. They may, because, Thanksgiving they play Sunday and turn around Friday. So maybe there will be some Sunday games. I know last year they made adjustments for the people that are playing on Christmas Day. But, Thursday is another day where the NFL, it's crazy, right? You got playoffs going on, NBA, NHL. And it's a guarantee that the reveal show on Thursday night is going to outrate any baseball game that's being played that night. And playoff hockey and playoff basketball will probably get outrated that night as well.
I know, man, you had some fun banter earlier when we were talking about, well, we know Jerry ain't giving up no home game. Listen, you guys, he's given up a home game this year, but this is the odd year that the Cowboys have 9 home games. So Jerry's never going to go. We believe that Jerry will never give up his 8 home gates. And when you really, really understand that when the Cowboys played these preseason games in Mexico City, the Cowboys are probably going to draw really, really well in Brazil. Like, it's just amazing. It's amazing what the NFL does. Like Dwayne said, when you really sit back and think about their schedule release, even with us doing a leak show on the leaks, people are still going to outdo NBA second round basketball, hockey, second round hockey. Like this is they really have struck the golden goose, as we would like to say. But that's all we really wanted to do. Just talk about it and just our thoughts. And we don't need a long show. We just for most people don't understand. This is something that we do. This is what we talk sports and we talk football, and we just decided to do a show about it.
It's gonna be interesting. Unfortunately, when you're a fan of the Cowboys, you play a lot of primetime games. You play a lot of 425s on Fox. So half our schedule is going to be national games. And with that being the case, things are going to leak. They've already leaked when Buffalo's going to play the first game in their new stadium. Like, I just don't like the leaks. I know this is content, right? And everybody is in that race to get content out there. And listen, I'll talk any matchup. Detroit versus Buffalo. It's a great way to kick off the new stadium, and Buffalo. And
and people don't realize the proximity of Detroit and Buffalo is not far.
Yeah, I will definitely have a close eye on what Buffalo is doing, just because a hometown kid went in the second round there. I won't say his name because we'll be doing a lot of that during the season. So, and you got a talent like Josh Allen, you're going to want to see him a lot as well. It's interesting because we haven't even had OTAs, and there was a show today, and it's a show I like. I really do like. I don't mind promoting it. First things first. I really do like it. I like Kevin Wildes. I like Chris Bouchard, and I like Nick Wright a lot. And I like some of the guests that they rotate through there. Some people say crazy things like Mangini. They brought him on to say some crazy things about, the Cowboys after the draft, after everybody was saying good things about the Cowboys. You got all these producer-driven shows got to always find a narrative, either pro Cowboys or negative Cowboys. And, Chris Wright, Nick Wright, sorry, he was in a conversation with Chris Bouchard. And I'm going to quote him because I wrote it down. If the Cowboys have an A game against the Giants in New York to start the Harbaugh era on Sunday Night Football, it's a catastrophe for the Giants. If you look at the last 13 games, the Cowboys are 11-2 against the Giants. So if the Giants lose to the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, Week 1, how's it a catastrophe? I mean, this is where I'm saying where people use the Cowboys and the Star to bump ratings. And listen, I just fell for it, right? But how can you say Week 1 of the season, a loss in Week 1 of a 17-game season? Now, listen, I know every game counts, and
you don't even know your team until about Week 4.
I know every game counts, and we'll look back at the end of the season and maybe misses the playoffs. Oh man, that was tough loss week 1. If we'd have got that one, maybe we'd have been in the playoffs. Like, I get all that, but a catastrophe? Like, and again, I know they need to make bold takes and wild takes. And there may be times we have shows and I may say something that people think is crazy, that I'm trying to get likes and clicks and all that, but I'm not shopping for saying something to get likes and clicks and get exposure. I like to say exposure other than that other word that everybody wants to use when it comes to content and social media. You know, they want to use a word that's derived from a virus. Viruses aren't good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I get it. I get it. It's the world we live in. It's content creating. But, as a fan of the game, I really like to be more surprised in anticipation of Thursday. Like, I already know right off the bat in the 17-game schedule that week 1, they're in the nationally televised game on NBC. Week 3, they're in the nationally televised game on CBS. And Thanksgiving is nationally televised on Fox. So all 3 of them got a piece of that pie. You know they're going to have games on Prime. You know they're going to have ESPN's Monday Night Football game. And you know they're going to be somewhere on Netflix schedule. So I already know, like, I know we got 17. I know at least 8 games on our schedule are going to be nationally televised games. So leak. I don't like anything being leaked. When I watch shows and we do something on the main channel. This is a byproduct of the main channel of Let's Talk 2. We do review shows on The Shy and on Raising Canaan. And I'm missing another show that we've done a review show on.
The Powers.
I had at the top of my head. But I'm saying all that to say we don't like when they leak final scenes for something that we invest our time in to do review shows on. Like, I'm going to always invest my time and find time to watch the Dallas Cowboys, other than when my family, who I love dearly, do something to make me upset and schedule a family event. And it happens often. Drafts, Cowboy games, they just do that to me. But, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm more excited for Thursday. Like, I wish I could turn the leaks off.
Yeah.
They're going to keep coming.
And it's amazing because the leaks come from the networks who have the partnership with the leagues. So, like, what are we doing? And I get it. You're sitting there and you're working, and now, the Department of Program have to get the information from the league. So now they got to do their programming. So I know how the leaks are getting out, but like,
there's a guy on Twitter, X. I'm sorry, it's X. Sorry, Elon. And he goes, this is a national guy. This is not a Dallas Cowboy guy. And this just speaks to what we're saying when we talk about the team from the start with the star in the helmet. The Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl last year. The New England Patriots was in the Super Bowl against said Seahawks. Where their schedules being leaked at. And if you look at this national writer, he said an hour ago on X, 2026 NFL schedule games confirmed so far. Week 1, 49ers, Rams in Australia. Week 1, Cowboys at Giants, Sunday Night Football. Week 2, Lions at Bills. Thursday night football. Sorry, I just lost it because it updated. What I'm definitely going to say to you is, of the 5 games he listed, 3 of them are Cowboy games. Again, here he has 49ers versus Rams in Australia, week 1. Cowboys at Giants, Sunday night football, week 1. Lions at Bills, Thursday night football, week 2. Week 3, Ravens versus Cowboys in Brazil. And in week 12, Eagles at Cowboys, Thanksgiving. And he goes, and there's more coming. So why didn't he wait for all the games that he knew was going to get leaked? But he leaked 3 Dallas Cowboy games. You see what I'm saying? Like,
getting in the Cowboy algorithm is gold for content creators, writers, everybody that's involved in sports. Getting in that Cowboy algorithm at the end of the day is good for business.
Well, think about it. Dallas Cowboys set a Thanksgiving Day record last year. They had 57.2 million views on Thanksgiving against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, had a lot to do with it. So, what you think they're going to do against the Eagles, who's a rival? They're going to try to break that record, man. And
don't have both teams be good.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. I want to be smart with some of the things that I say because I love this league. And, man, I'm watching if it's on at a live game, 3 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. If it's football, I'm going to be there. I'm going to watch. But, it's just stop with all the leaks, man. Like, just stop. I don't know, man. It's sort of like a couple of years ago when we were watching the draft and all of a sudden in the NFL draft, Sham started, like, getting picks out there before NFL guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, it's draft night, man. What? And in your mind, right, you tell yourself not to look at it, right? But it's like a train wreck or a car wreck. You probably shouldn't look at it, but your eye's still going to lead you to there.
Mm-hmm.
I was caught in traffic today, and it makes me mad because I'm like, man, why is all this traffic? And it's because people on the other side of the highway stop. Oh, let me see what's going on. I want to get home, man, after a long day of work. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same. It's the same. And I have a cousin of mine that called me, and not the biggest NFL fan. He's a NBA fan. And he was like, yo, man, why the NFL can't release their scheduled show on Sunday at like noon? Why they got to do it prime time on Thursday? So they're going to steal those ratings from your NBA. That's why.
That's what they do, right? That's what they do.
Doing. I mean, think about it. The draft was 3 days on 3 networks. And all 3 networks was doing all night, all day, Saturday.
Wall-to-wall coverage, even after the draft, that's all they talked about. Like
Day 3 of the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Outrated NBA basketball.
And the stretch run of the NBA season. Yeah.
And NHL.
Yeah.
It outrated all of them, right?
Yeah.
We sit here and we watch the T-shirt and short Olympics, known as the NFL Combine. We sit there and watch it instead of watching actual games.
And players will quote unquote players will get worse than what we saw when the last time they put shoulder pads and helmets on, just based off of the T-shirt Olympics. Amazing. NFL knows how to. At the end of the day, the NFL knows how to grab our attention. And me and Dwayne, we always say this, and this is interesting. When are they not going to turn a profit? They turn a profit every year. Every year. You're going to hear it again this year. The NFL signed a check for every team for like $200 million, $300 million. Every team got a check. It's going to be coming out soon. They're going to do the Forbes highest and most wealthiest teams, and 4 or 5 of them going to be NFL teams. That's just how it goes. So, great conversation, bro. We just wanted to bring it on and just talk our thoughts about the leaks, man, and just, we'll probably, get back and see you guys soon.
Well, I would say this before, just one last thing I want to touch on before we wrap up the show. There's a young man, football player, University of Missouri, one of my favorite college football players last year. And prior to transferring to Missouri, I've liked this kid, and his name is Ahmad Hardy. And we're so quick to come to rushes of judgments. We're so quick in this world to want to be the first to report something and breaking news and try to find out if a person's a bad person or what have you. What we do know is a young man got shot over the weekend at a concert. Thankfully, he's in stable condition. And, first thing people want to say is, oh, well, when is he going to get back on the football field? Or we're hearing that he's going to play football again. Let's take a time to acknowledge that a young man got shot and the trauma that he's going to have to deal with, not only in this moment, for the rest of their life, right? I love football as much as the next person. I love football. I'll watch U8 game in North Brunswick, New Jersey. I will do that. I will take the time to do that. But at certain things, life is definitely more important than football or any sport, basketball, hockey, baseball. So at this point, man, my prayers, I don't know the circumstances. I don't need to know the circumstances. All I need to know is what happened. And so my prayers is with Ahmad Hardy right now on his recovery, period. And, prayers to his family and friends who are there to support him. And I just hope whoever you believe in, if you believe in a higher power, I know what I believe in, and it's not to go too in depth on this, but I pray that whoever is in his charge of his care, whichever doctors, if he has to have additional surgery, whoever comes in contact with this young man, I hope they have the right spirit. I hope they have the spirit to help and give care and not judge. And I just hope that we could be a little bit more kind in this crazy world and not try to just rush to judgment. So prayers up to Ahmad Hardy.
No doubt. With that, take care. We're going to go out with our boy P. And you guys have a good one.
Serving niggas. They hear the pain in my voice, they know it's murder. That Audi come with an engine, I was just swerving it. I'm outside on the south side.